This video offers a short overview of Formulate and how to use it to build calculations and business logic for your reports and dashboards. The Formulate app in Pyramid is for pro users to author and build a variety of advanced logical items that are then used elsewhere. This includes calculations, lists or sets, KPIs, parameters, custom visuals, and Python and R scripts. The logic built in Formulate is usually shareable and stored like all other items in Pyramid in the content management system. This means they can be versioned, secured, copied, and managed as first-class independent items, much like a report or dashboard. In this video, we'll focus on the Formula toolset, which offers both a graphical and scripting interface for building calculations using the Prequel or MDX languages. Other videos will focus on the other Formulate tools, including lists, which offers a mechanism to build dynamic and logical ways of selecting elements from hierarchies, KPIs, which offers a mechanism to build the multi-layered formulations to define key performance indicators, and parameters, which allows users to build more complex flows into reports, dashboards, and any other calculation. To start a formula, open the Formulate module from the home page or from the App tab menu. Select Formula and then select a data model that the formula will operate against. The Formula Workspace contains several main items. At the top we have the ribbon where you can access scripting mode, a marketplace of basic script setups, internal parameters, and jump buttons for adding more Formulate items. The large button in the top left-hand corner is used to run and test your formula. The results are shown over here in the preview panel on the right. Below the preview panel, we have properties, which allow us to configure details for our function. On the left, we have a menu of all the relevant functions we can use in our formula, broken out into convenient categories. There are hundreds to choose from, so you can use the search option at the top here to find a function by name. For formulas, the function list is further split into block functions, which offer easy point-and-click access to functions with graphical objects, and normal text functions, which are less graphical and cover the more advanced logic that may be needed. Hovering over a function will show you a rich tooltip that shows its syntax and explains what the function can be used for. Right-clicking on the function will show a context-sensitive help menu. And last is the formula canvas, where your functions are written or built. To see the formulation tools in action, let's start by using an existing formula in the marketplace. We'll choose the simple addition formula. Notice the formula includes two function blocks for two data points. A data point is effectively a data cell in a data model. To complete the formula, we simply need to specify the elements that each data point is made up of. In effect, we're setting each data point's coordinates from the data model. When we click on the block, we're presented with the entire data model schema in the fly-up dialog below. From here, we can pick those coordinates. So in our example, we want to add bike sales for 2020 for females to bike sales in 2019 for males. This calculation shows how you can add different data points in the data model together through the point-and-click experience. The permutations following this approach are endless. Clicking the large button, we can see a result preview over here in this tab, and we can see the underlying syntax preview in this tab. Because we're using a SQL-based data source, the formulation is written using Prequel. Now we'll adjust our formula by encapsulating our summation with brackets. Then let's click on operators and put in a divide operation by double-clicking. Now let's add a new aggregation block using the aggregation function by dragging it onto the formula canvas. We'll build an aggregate of all states in our data model, starting with the letter A. Obviously, there are better ways of selecting these items with a formulaic list, but here we'll just do this with simple selections. To drive our aggregation, we also need to pick a numeric data point. So we'll define a numeric value by selecting expenses for 2018. Clicking the large button, we can see a result preview and we can see the underlying syntax has been enlarged to include our new logic. Last, we'll save our calculation to the analyst workgroup, which will allow any analyst to access and reuse our new formula in their own analyses. At any time, someone with write access to this formula can change it, and this will then flush the change throughout the system. In this next example, we're going to start by creating a variance formula on sales and expenses in this grid from Discover. Let's right-click on the function and rename it to gross margin. The quick calcs in Discover create formulas that can then be edited in the formula tools. So now we can right-click on this item in its hierarchy elements tree and open it in Formulate. You'll notice that we're again presented with formulas written graphically with block functions. Clicking on each block, we can see how the quick calc built out the logic for us with its selections from the data model. Next, we'll tweak our formula by rounding down the resulting value to a single decimal point using the round function from the maths category. Notice that it shows a script rather than the simple blocks. Next, let's highlight the original formula, cut it using the cut-paste tools, then paste it into the numeric argument position of the round function. Type 1 as the number of positions to keep in the resulting value. Next, let's click the Run button to see the preview. And suddenly, the gross margin value doesn't include the second decimal, which means the percentages are rounded to the nearest 10%. Last, we'll save and close our function. By default, quick calcs created in Discover are treated as one-off embedded calculations in the report. If we choose to make it shareable for reuse in other reports or by other users, we can choose the Make Shareable option and then save it to the content system like a new formula. In the last segment, we're going to create a formula using the advanced scripting mode. To see it in action, let's start with a new formula. However, we'll immediately switch over to scripting mode. You'll notice that the formula canvas switches to a code editor. The block functions are removed since they're only useful in the graphical interface, and the data model metastructure is now always shown in the bottom panel. We can start typing in the code editor, and if we hold the Control key down with the spacebar, we're prompted with the function syntax. Let's select it. To complete this function, we need to provide it with a list of things to aggregate. So let's highlight the list argument in the editor. From the hierarchical function category, double-click on the children function. Notice it inserts the function into the editor for us, replacing the highlighted list argument. Let's highlight the member argument of the children function and then go to the meta trees below, open the products dimension, then the products hierarchy. In the middle panel, let's double-click on bikes. Notice it inserts its unique or technical name into the editor for us. So our list is all the child elements of the bikes member element from the product category. Next, let's inject a specific measure to drive our optional numeric data point in the formula. Let's highlight the argument again, and then choose sales from the measure listing down below. Finally, we want to ensure that the number that is produced is always positive. So we simply need to take the absolute value of the result. To do this, we highlight our script, cut it using the right-click context menu, then go to the maths category, drag the absolute function to the editor, highlight its numeric argument, and choose Paste from the right-click menu. Clicking the big button, we can see a preview of the result, and we can now save our function for future use. This completes our overview of the formula tools in Formulate, highlighting some of its core functions and capabilities. For a deeper review of these features, including a lot of the items that couldn't be included in this video, check out the video tutorials section in the online help or follow our blog series on the community forum.